Happy Black History Month. Even though we do this every month, we bring y'all that history. This is Black Power Media, and this is the Remix Morning Show. Now, we got a good one for y'all, so make sure y'all tell y'all people to tune in right now so you can meet people like Dr. Jerry Ball and Jackie Lukeman.
I like that boom bap.
Hey.
Boom bap breakfast for real. What's up, good people?
How y'all doing?
I am as good as could be expected. How you doing here, doctor?
I'm great. I'm here. I'll be here for the whole show. So I know, right? Oh, whatever.
like now we're spoiled now.
You know what I'm saying? After years of being here, the whole show, when y'all be going,
couple weeks, and it's like, oh, this traitor.
You know what I'm saying? How's your weekend? I don't remember.
You know what? Actually, no, I was. It was a good weekend. We had a retreat for BAP, and that just creates more work, but that's a good thing. And after that, it was just sleeping.
Sounds fun. What about you, Jared?
Busy weekend. Lot of daughter's activities. Then of course we had Earn Your Liberation Saturdays, and then we had a pop-up AFCON discussion about the African Cup of Nations. Africa Cup of Nations and world football. So fun, busy for me. Fizzy. I'm going to call it fizzy. I was fizzy this weekend.
Nice. I guess everybody's, well, not everybody, but some people are getting ready for American football this weekend. So, you know.
Is something happening? What's going on in that sport?
Usher is performing the halftime. That's all you need to know.
That's because nobody really cares.
Wait, you know what though? I don't know if did I bring this up? I meant to bring it up. I don't know if I remembered to bring this up, but when I had the privilege of running into the week before, when I had the privilege of running.
Is this the plane ride?
No. This isn't the plane ride. We can come back and talk about that though, because Mike. I told the whole story on the platform, but now that there's a kind of an update with Mike at the Grammys, maybe we can. But the real privilege was that I had to run into all the good people at Claudia and Karina's campaign launch in Newark, and one of the great folks there was, of course, our own Hiram Rivera, and we had a brief discussion about American football. And at the time, before the games had been completed, there was this moment he had alerted me to, which I thought would have been a dope political moment, which is where if Baltimore had won and moved on to face Detroit in the Super Bowl, we would have had the country would have been forced to contend with two of its most black and prominently deprived cities.
Right.
Representing the country in the Super Bowl, and the contradictions that might have produced would have been. So for a minute there, I started rooting for Baltimore and Detroit, and both of them, of course, lost.
It would have smelled like gators and minks if Detroit would have been.
Hey. Although that's true, but
I mean,
I'm just,
I don't know. Just smell like a bunch of crabs if Baltimore would have made it.
I'm not offended by that. I don't like that.
Yeah. So, but that was so shout out to Hiram for that in that brief moment of. Am I saying Newark wrong?
Newark. You say Newark.
So
it should be Newark. Actually,
well, if we're gonna do the petty thing, did y'all see how Abdul misspelled here?
Oh, wait a minute. Y'all hear? Oh, it's a shot taken back.
I mean, I'm just saying, if that's how we start the remix week, I'm just checking.
If we doing corrections, you talking to a professor here now. He can help correct you now.
I mean, if it's I'm just saying.
That's what we doing. I'm here for it. You know I'm here for it, son.
I mean, so.
Oh boy.
There. I still get them fucked up.
Oh boy.
Oh, yes, I love it.
Man, I love y'all to death, man.
Big up to all y'all people tuning in, all our remixes and stuff like that. Make sure y'all send a little something in the chat room and some super chats if you can, so we can keep this thing going. Before Kamal gets here, I just nicely wanted to ask y'all. So we got a dope show. Erica laced us. What else is going on? Anything? It's February. We got Trump still doing his thing. There's a bunch of shit going on. So we're going to definitely get into all that.
Trump's doing his thing. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, I keep hearing his name in people's mouths like, yo,
my
this dude
class
probably
had a
gonna
debate
win it.
yesterday. I got a dude in my class who said he wants to run for president one day because he wants to do something good for the world and bring change. And I couldn't help but screw my face up a little bit, and I was like, I did. I said, if that's really your goal,
yeah,
you gotta get with us down here and get in some of these movement spaces, and that's where you can make your change. But the idea that you're gonna make it to the presidency and then it sparked this whole thing, and we gotta he won't say it yet, but he's a pro-Trump supporting anti-Democrat. And so we got this nice little dynamic forming in the first weeks of classes here. So, it's exciting
funny.
semester.
I got a couple friends that's voting for Trump. Like, that's just
I'm
what
sure.
it is.
I'm not surprised. I'm not at all surprised to hear you say that.
I mean, listen,
right on brand.
I got a lot. Whoa, I got a lot of different friends now. Speaking of somebody that might vote for Trump, big up to Kamala Franklin.
Nah, see, I would have gone the other way.
Wait a minute.
I thought you were gonna say. Speaking of different kind of friend.
Oh yeah, different kind of friends. Damn. Okay, yeah, you're right. Wait a minute. Do we see a bookshelf? Does he finally have a home in his house?
We
are
nice.
Wow.
We are three-fourths finished.
Look at that.
75% of my books are up. There's still a couple of things I got to get out the garage. The basement has been 95 to 98% completed. This will be my new home. I will be sleeping here apparently.
When you act up.
Maybe not even then. Maybe not.
So we just gotta get the some stuff on the walls, get them acoustics straight.
Yep.
Get you out of that echo chamber you in. But
echo?
it's coming together.
Where's your mic?
Yeah.
It's right here, son. Echo.
Oh, it's in front of you now.
It's
supposed to be in front of you.
The room.
There
You good though? I mean, you good? Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
But congratulations. Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Fresh new white long john shirt. I see you out here starting on them. How was your weekend, bro?
Wow.
I watched it.
Nah, you didn't.
Well, it was. Excuse me.
I said you didn't.
I do the laundry in the house, B. I do the laundry in the house.
I do mine.
I do laundry for everybody. I do the laundry.
You separate
whites
and colors?
Yeah, I separate whites and colors.
Wash it in cold. Everything's good if you wash it in cold.
Oh, I never wash anything in cold. So that's not say I always successfully do the laundry. Everything is like the standard. Everything is like hot. Everything is maximum water fill.
I don't have time for the separating.
You can't put the whites and the colors together.
No, if you don't use bleach and you wash it in cold and and if this is bright enough for you, that's it. If you really want it to pop, you're right. You gotta separate, put some bleach in it. I don't have time for all that. It's just one bag, one day, do, cold water. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah. My dad owned the laundromat, so I had to know how to do all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was.
Where at? What part in Jersey?
Trenton. Yeah, he was the George Jefferson. He had a cleaner laundromat, and he was
George Jefferson.
Yeah, and he was a principal. He did it all, man.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
What's an entrepreneur? What happened to the laundromat? You didn't inherit that?
Oh, nah. We moved down south. It was too much violence going on in the neighborhood, and we was ready to move down south. He seen me come home high one time and was like, you know what? Let's get out of here.
He sold it to the Asians. That's why we don't have any black businesses anymore.
He probably
See?
did. Nah,
There went all that generational wealth.
And that's why everybody's screaming at me. We had buying power, and then everybody sold their stuff to the Chinese. See? Shame on you.
Know that you're a petty bourgeois. You don't
Who,
come
me?
across this, but you don't come across as petty bourgeois.
I mean, I
Of
was
course,
outside all the time.
But he comes across as a cash and carry business type of guy, though. So
That's true. He is
laundromat, pizzeria. I'm like, this is very
drugs.
Voting for Trump. This is
Whoa. No, my sister tried to guilt me into voting for Biden. I was like, listen. She's like, she hit me with the lesser of two evils. I was like, listen, I'd rather just, I'll stay local or something. I can't.
Sit it out. Yeah, sit it out.
She keep trying to guilt me into that shit. I'm like, nah, can't do it. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's get into
I can see Ear Doctor behind that little half a wall in the check cashing spot with the shotgun on the thing.
Oh yeah.
Yo, in the pizza shop, we had a Uzi underneath the counter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we
Oh,
did.
we
I
were
still see that
fancy
happen.
pizza shop.
Oh yeah, we were.
The one down here I used to have to go to, they used to let the door swing just wide enough so you could see the arsenal behind there. They wanted everybody to just enough, just in case you started having questions. Because I was the one they did that for. Because I would be in there thinking, I'm just broke enough to have questions about the security in this spot. And that's why I'm not enough to do anything. I'm not going to do anything, but just to have a question. And that's why they let the door just swing, just click, 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 just in case. And I was like, nah, you're right. Never mind. I'm just going, can I just have mine?
Oh my God.
I may have had a shotgun for a pizza restaurant. Okay.
No, Uzi.
Oh, Uzi.
Uzi.
Yeah.
Uzi. What kind of pizza? Never mind.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's what it tells you. You already know. It's an Ear Doctor Pizzeria.
you don't get to choose everything you get off the street. I mean, it's just a Uzi, a 9 shotgun. Sometimes you just got to get what you got to get. All right, enough of this incrimination. All right, let's go ahead and get to our first break, and we're going to come back and hit y'all with, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. All right. Big up to Philly, Bahamadia, all them dope people out on South Street and Ting. Yo, welcome out. This is the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Please make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Also, go to patreon.com, become a member over there, and you'll see some footage that's rare. Also, with that, tell a friend to tell a friend. Yo, it's on again every Tuesday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. All right, boom. Let's do this. Let's talk about it. Let's go ahead and get to the weather report because y'all don't know what it is outside because y'all be inside all the time. Nah, I'm just playing. Let's start at ATL. They got a high today of 61 degrees. Next, let's take it to DC. They got a high of 46 degrees. And Chicago, the Chi, 37 degrees. A little chilly still up there. This weather's crazy. Houston, they at 70. And Oakland, 55 degrees. Next, let's take it to a place I want to go check out when I go vacation one of these days. Let's go to St. Lucia's. They got a high of 85 degrees. And last but not least, let's take it to the motherland, the Wotherland. Nairobi. Let's go to Kenya. They got a high of 81 degrees. Now, that's kind of hot. I'll tell you what else was kind of hot. The fact that your boy Killer Mike does what he does best, and that's rap. He brought home 3 Grammys, swept the rap categories. actually came out, like you said, age 48, doing some real actual hip hop, talking about something that has some content in it, and won 3 Grammys. Look at that. At the end of the show, he got took out in some handcuffs, though. I don't know what that was about, but he said it was what it was. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about these Grammys right here and how I swept the category. So big up to that brother for actually putting out some good content when it came to the music. All right, with that said, let's get back to the Remix Morning crew. You know how we do. All right, let's go. Yeah.
I heard from a lot of people yesterday asking me to get into my petty bag over Mike. I'm not
I
even
just want to
kidding.
hear the story. I just want to hear the story about the plane thing.
I heard something about it in the song. So maybe he smashed somebody. Maybe somebody got pushed. I don't know.
The most I've been able to find out is that there was some kind of altercation with a security guard, and the security guard made a citizen's arrest.
Oh my God.
Which triggered the police coming, pun intended, I guess. So to me, so that's what. So pettiness aside, unfortunately for me, first of all, I would never. I don't want to see black people getting put in handcuffs. Number one. Number two. Mike comes off looking good in this because apparently his altercation was with a security guard as opposed to, say, a host, a comedic host who's standing
Right.
there unwittingly, and then the security guard calls for a citizen's arrest. Like if this is the story, if this is at all accurate, and I saw somebody in the chat saying the cop was off duty. I'm like, you are reminding us why we've been critical at times, or I've been critical at times of Mike for supporting the police so much. You all are cowards. And I mean, my goodness.
Security call security.
No disrespect. I'm 52 now. I know what it is. At 48, Mike doesn't look like he's in the best of shape. If I'm a security guard and I need to call somebody on Mike, I need to get a new job. I need a new line of work. Seriously, Mike can't be, for more than 30 to 45 seconds, he can't be much of a threat in a physical altercation. Seriously, I'm just saying, you only got like 30 seconds to deal with here. I know I only got like 10, 15.
Yeah,
so
I
I'm
was about
like,
to give you 15. I was going to give you 15.
he's
Mike,
a big dude,
but
big,
following you is a lot.
big and can fight are two different things. Big and can move are two different things. Big and moving around for more than 30 seconds is a.
He got to move around. All he got to do is follow. You put that kind of weight on your back.
You put the people's elbow on you, it's a wrap.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, like I said, if I'm a security guard, though, I'm talking about, if I'm a security guard, I feel like I don't need to call LAPD on Mike. He just won 3 Grammys. He's not.
Yeah.
Is he really trying to be? He's not trying to be in here. What could have possibly been the case that needed all of that? So
Can we get to this plane ride where you shared a plane ride with Killer Mike and some other people?
Listen. This is
Listen.
the short version. I got invited a couple weeks ago to Bucknell to give a shout out to Marcus Scales, my former homeboy and colleague at Morgan State, and who. He wanted me to give a talk on Dr. King. So what I did was I just wanted to come up with a different way of doing it than I have been doing it for a while. And I thought and the one thing I didn't say publicly, so thank you for giving me the chance to say it here, is that Derek Bell, the late Derek Bell, was the inspiration for it. Because years ago he came to College Park, gave a talk, and couched the talk in a story that he told that I really couldn't tell if it was real or not. I was more explicit in saying that my story was not real, but involved a fictitious encounter with Killer Mike, Ava DuVernay, and Amy Schumer on a flight where I could use some real life things that all of them have said and done as it relates to Dr. King, and in terms of Mike as it pertains to our exchange, and I could tell this story to this Bucknell audience and get out all the messages I wanted to convey without having to do the standard, this happened and that happened, and then look at this slide, and this is, so it was fun for me. They seemed to appreciate it. and it just works. So shout out to Derek Bell for the idea, and many others have done this. I mean, it was just so that, and sometimes when people don't catch everything, or they just see a little clip, or they're not really, they're unclear as to how real the story is, and that's part of the fun.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll let y'all get to the news. Catch you on the next break. Peace.
All right.
And see what happens. It was underwhelming. So he was like,
he just left after that. He was like,
it didn't really happen. He was like, once he heard it didn't really happen, there was no fighting on a plane. He was like,
it's like, we still talking.
Killer Mike didn't fall on you. You didn't have to call the security guard or the LA cops. He's like, I don't care.
All right, but let's slap the map for real.
Yes.
How about that, Ear Doctor? All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Remix Morning Show. Jackie Lukman, Kamal Franklin, Jared Ball, the Ear Doctor, Sister Erica on the run sheet. Thank you very much. And I'm telling you, we had another meeting. Her work is about to, Erica's work is about to mess the world up. She's about to demystify financial literacy. Get all these fools out of here. I can't wait. Can't wait. All right, where you all want to start? What's happening? What's going on?
Let's see. This story was reported in The Guardian. I watched a video of some Irish guy talking about how there's almost a mutiny in the CNN newsroom over its coverage that has this is from the internal sources, journalists who were saying that they didn't feel comfortable with the obvious pro-Israel bias of their coverage. But I couldn't find any, he didn't share an article. I couldn't find, what the source was, like the New York Times or something like that, because I always try to use their stupid paper of record sources to prove that they're terrible. But what I did find is this article in The Guardian. And where are you? There you are. Excuse me. And this is from February 4th. And they say that insiders in CNN say pressure from the top results in credulous reporting of, I think that's an error, incredulous reporting of Israeli claims and silencing Palestinian perspectives. So the journalists in CNN in the US and overseas say broadcasts have been skewed and management edicts and a story approved process that has resulted in highly partial coverage of Hamas massacre on 7 October and Israel's retaliatory attack on Gaza. So one of the CNN staffers said that the majority of news since the war began, regardless of how accurate the initial reporting has been skewed by a systemic and institutional bias within the network toward Israel. Ultimately, CNN's coverage of the Israel-Gaza war amounts to journalistic malpractice. Now, first of all, it's not a war; it's genocide. But this whole article talks about all of these journalists within CNN who are talking to people about the bias, the pro-Israel bias in the newsroom. So I thought that was very interesting that this story was actually a week, just last week. And did anybody hear about it? Is it being reported on the major, U.S. mainstream media? Of course not. Of course not, because then that would be a major scandal, another major scandal for CNN and the New York Times and all of these massive newspapers that are just owned by a handful of corporations anyway. That would be embarrassing for them, and they can't afford the bad press now. So I thought that was really interesting that the very usually neoliberal journalists within the media structure are kind of staging a silent mutiny over the coverage of the Israel attack on Gaza.
I mean, of course, the newspaper is not going to cover. I'm like, there's been at this point 5 or 6 huge rallies in front of the New York Times. Do you think the New York Times has put any of that in the news? That's all the news that's fit to print. There's not been any coverage. I mean, huge rallies calling out and protesting their coverage of basically, like you said, the genocide on Palestinians. It's not a war between Israel and Hamas. Israel is bombing Palestinians. Israel is bombing citizens, bombing civilian homes, so bombing hospitals, bombing infrastructure, libraries, whatever is standing in Gaza, it bombs. And so it has nothing to do with a war between Israel and Hamas. And so that even that framing, which has been adopted by all of mainstream or corporate media, is that there's a war between Israel and Hamas, is obviously propaganda and a false frame. And then they continue on with talking about it's always how everything started October 7th, which again is a false frame, which doesn't take into account the little 75 to 80, now over 100 years close to, of the colonization, settler colonial land grab by Europeans who were Zionists, who practiced the religion of Judaism, that has led us to this point and further along to this point. No coverage really of the Western cover to create that country, and the weapons and supplies that they get on a daily basis in the billions of dollars, which is the only way that country could survive, is by the largesse given to it by the West. Economically, it couldn't survive. It couldn't survive politically. It certainly couldn't survive militarily without the gifts that it gets from particularly the United States. And so none of that is covered on a daily basis. None of that is understood by people who strictly read mainstream media. And so, of course, they're not going to cover their internal protest. And most of those folks, they're going to have to go and write at another paper to get that kind of thing covered, because the whole idea is to protect Israel in terms of what the mainstream media does.
Yeah. Thanks, Infinite Content. Dr. Ball, Jackie, Kamala literally tagged you all in a report by Owen Jones of how Israel censors CNN coverage on Twitter Monday. I think I missed that, but thank you. And I was just showing, just to support what you all were saying, just some of what the fair is showing in terms of how some of this happens, and just the easy way you can skew the coverage in your paper by just who you invite to write opinions. And it's just sort of a race to the bottom between two of the leading papers that cover news in the United States, and that the Washington Post has 0 from humanitarian groups, and the Times only has 4% of guest essays on the Gaza crisis from humanitarian groups, and it's government officials, elite journalists, elite academics, think tanks, military spokespeople. It's just
I mean, the best coverage is the Wall Street Journal, though.
Yeah.
Wall Street Journal, I mean, it's just laughable when Chicago passed the ceasefire resolution, and it says Chicago supports Hamas or something. I was like, they just don't give a damn.
Exactly.
Like we're letting you know what side we're on. So at least there you get they're not even trying to filter it towards a sort of a propaganda lens that's nuanced, right? They're just like all the way. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I do
All right,
have.
right on. Yeah.
You got
Okay.
something, or because I
No,
got
no,
I
no.
got.
I'm just going by the run sheet. If
Oh
not,
no, I got two related Cop City stories that I want to
Ooh.
jump on real quick. And this is going to be the Guardian's going to get a lot of free advertisement from us apparently today. So Georgia Senate passes bill curtailing charitable bail funds for protest groups. And so in Georgia, the state Senate passed legislation on Thursday, mostly outlawing bail funds for protest groups and added dozens of offenses to the list of charges requiring cash bail to secure release. The passage of SB 63 by a 30-17 vote in a Republican-dominated state Senate arrives as three activists operating the Atlanta Solidarity Fund face state-level racketeering and charity fraud charges in connection with the prosecution of dozens of protesters against Cop City. And so basically what you have here is the Republican-controlled both Senate and House. And so it seems that this will actually pass both the Senate and the House in the state of Georgia and will be put on the desk of the governor to sign. So this bill is sweeping around nonprofit bail funds, and everybody from Dr. King's former church, Reverend Warnock's church, has bail funds. So they're not just bail funds which work for activists, because they couldn't probably slice it that closely. They're also just in general all bail funds. But the target of this is the bail funds, obviously, that protesters have used during Cop City, and to outlaw that, which basically means that the only way for a bail fund or to post bail from an institutional setting, you have to then go down to the sheriff's office and get permission from the sheriff. So you have to fill out forms, and the sheriff gets to decide, as this bill is constructed, who gets to post bail or what institution gets to post bail for people who are charged with different crimes. And so whether or not this is going to stand so-called constitutional muster, we'll see. But as of now, we're on the verge of outlawing bail funds. And, I've talked about this before, how
Yeah.
integral bail funds have been to movement organizing and activists, not just recently here in Atlanta, even before Cop City. The Atlanta Bail Fund and prior bail funds were supporting Mama's Bail Fund, other things were supporting getting people and activists and organizers out. And obviously, it's been of great help during the Cop City protests. But bail funds have a 100-year history in this country that have been used by, in particular, by movement, civil rights movement, labor movement, to help secure the release of people. And I often say that when you look at parts of the civil rights movement, it allowed working class and poor Black people to participate, particularly in the South, because they knew that they would not have to spend night after night after night in southern segregated jails, where their lives were literally in danger if they didn't receive bail, right? Intimidation tactics and outright murder were all things that could happen. And so the fact that they are now trying to criminalize these bail funds shows us about the further attack on organizing. Now, a companion story to that, because we don't want to leave out the Democrats, that's a Republican-led effort. But in the city of Atlanta, recently a group of organizers, self-included, have spending some time trying to get down the logistics of counting signatures, if they were to count the signatures that were gathered in a referendum process. So again, we've given in the over 116,000 signatures to the clerk's office in the city of Atlanta. The city of Atlanta, the clerk's office, the city council, the mayor's office, the legal office have all stalled on verifying those petitions. And they've used various reasons and rationales for doing so. One thing that was not there was basically the rules, the logistics of the methodology of how the signatures would be
counted or verified, right? What would be the process for doing that? There are folks who put forth a process for doing that. In the city council, we had a couple of people who actually acted as champions in putting that forth. But what the city council did was add language at the last minute that basically codified signature matching. So again, signature matching, the same tool that Republicans were going to use against Stacey Abrams that Democrats sued over, the same tool, which is a verified voter suppression tool. The Democratic City Council added the amendment to the bill or to the ordinance and then passed the ordinance. And so I'll just read a couple of lines here. The Atlanta City Council adopted new rules on Monday that would allow the referendum process for the public to vote on the Cop City project to move forward. The vote came amid protest against the methodology the council adopted for signature matching referendum petitions. Now, again, this ordinance was put forth by community groups in one version, and then once it got to council folks switched it, added language to it to make it a voter suppression referendum process. And so that Democratic body, again, is making sure that, one, these petitions don't get counted. And if they do, they use a tool and method which will allow them to throw out massive amount of signatures and then claim that we didn't meet our threshold. While at the same time, the Republican-controlled state house is punishing and trying to prevent protests from happening by delegitimizing and actually making illegal bail funds in Georgia. And so, again, the differences between the parties, particularly on cops and capitalism, but almost on everything else also, is nil and something that we always have to look out for and watch.
Mm-hmm. But democracy, though.
Democracy. Democracy in America.
It's crazy. I don't even. Sometimes. I mean, I don't have anything substantive to say. It's crazy. It's crazy. What should we go from there? Should we stay there? What's anything either of you?
What other stories in the run sheet?
Well, there's first of all, let me just say real quick while we do this that shout out to Bob Marley's birthday today. There's some programming on the platform coming up regarding that after the remix. Davi, one of the Green Party's presidential nominee candidates, will be joining me at 11. So you can come on back if you want to get some discussion of Green Party alternatives to this problem that Kamala has just outlined. There was a couple of things on the run sheet that I thought were interesting, including look.
What are you laughing?
I'm laughing at because this is just going too far. This is just going too far.
What have we done?
A lawmaker wants to jail people for watching porn. This is now all due respect to Cop City. Exactly. Yeah, now I'm out. With all due respect to Cop City. Go ahead here, doctor. I saw
Put the handcuffs on me now.
Pause. But yeah, so but now they've gone too far. Oklahoma lawmaker Dusty Devers, who sounds like his name is a porn name. This has to be
with his name, his porn star name.
Erica is trolling us right now, right? This is early April Fools. This is Black History April Fools month. Dusty Devers,
aka Dusty Beaver.
What? Oh
man. is a hardcore Christian nationalist who believes the government should terrorize evildoers. Dusty Devers is a fundamentalist preacher. He's also a state senator. He insists he doesn't see any firewalls between his two roles as he crusades to outlaw porn and what he decries as the abortion holocaust and abolish no-fault divorce in Oklahoma. He argues that the sole purpose of government is to promote what is good in accordance with the will of God. I would just say in a formula that, it seems to me, a formula that includes a decrease in porn would lead more likely lead to an increase in abortions and therefore contradict his purported goals. So
yeah.
Dusty.
What state was that? Oklahoma?
Oklahoma, the good progressive, forward-thinking people.
No firewalls, no sugar walls.
We don't need to go to Oklahoma for any reason.
Shout out to Prince and Sheena.
How is he going to ban? I just understand. How is he going to ban? Like, is he going to the internet?
Oh, I didn't even get that far. I don't know. It's not. Seems like a completely unrealistic. It's just one of these things that keeps coming up every so often that they use to get themselves elected.
And the fact that works, because all his constituency probably watches porn, considering the numbers of porn watchers on the internet. Like, how does that play? And in 3 weeks there's going to be a scandal where the dude gets busted, like, watching or making all his films that he made when he was in his 20s or whatever like that. All his porn films, like naked on the Bible, some shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, all that going to come out. Sorry about that.
So speaking of porn, remember also that when he made his film on Malcolm X, the scene with the white woman was described as porn by some. The toe sucking. And and Spike is now bringing production company, or his production company is now seeking interns from as they say, Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland. And when I read the story on Morgan's site, just the headline here, Morgan State University, a historically black university based in Baltimore, is partnering with legendary director Spike Lee to launch students' careers in the film industry. Lee's production company, 40 Acres and a Mule Filmworks, and okay, this was the important part, and talent firm, the Gersh Agency, partnered with Morgan's School of Global Journalism and Communication to launch the 8-week internship. So it's much like many of these financial efforts with black banks and black business and black this and that. It's yet another black-facing, white-backed effort. The Gersh Agency is one of the bigger white talent agencies. So some might say in the Clarence Avant tradition of the relationship between black people in the industries, this is Spike playing his Clarence Avant role of taking a big check to walk a few black people into a relatively bigger check and ultimately produce the biggest checks for the sponsors of it all and for Morgan to get involved in this. So shout out to Spike, Morgan, the Clarence Avant tradition of black gatekeeping in the entertainment industry, and to the school that no longer wanted your boy. But yeah, no, that's my former school. To which I'm technically still tenured, but we'll see how that. We'll see. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting.
You still got a job.
I still got a job. I still,
true.
as of, still got a job. The lights are still on.
I was going to say really quickly, like those interns, they get paid nothing, next to nothing. So basically, he's going to be participating and exploiting kids and telling them that their dreams are going to come true as they spend the summer making copies and getting coffee and moving lights around and all the rest of it and shit. So
We'll see. No, Yipper, I did not get let go. I got repurposed, redistributed. This is a couple of years ago. No, I didn't. I'm not about to. I'm not on the chopping block officially.
Did we do the dude with the Tom Cotton? We did the communist moment already. The video, the dude from Singapore. He kept asking if he's in the Chinese Communist Party.
I didn't. I'm not familiar with this.
No,
I'm not. This is.
I'm not. No.
So last week let me do this one real quick. So last week at Senate hearings, Tom Cotton fired, Senator Tom Cotton fired some questions at the CEO of TikTok. I can't do it justice, B. I can't do the McCarthyism justice.
Wait, they're still doing this?
Oh, this was fantastic. This was just a mixture of this good anti-Asian racism, general racism, red baiting, white. I mean, this was just you would think this was a clip from 1932 or
a racism gumbo.
Yeah, this is beautiful. This is beautiful work here. Okay. Oh. Let me turn that up. Sorry about that.
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I serve.
As you often say that you live in Singapore. Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I serve my nation in Singapore. No, I did not.
You have a Singaporean passport.
Yes, and I served my military for two and a half years in Singapore.
Do you have any other passports from any other nations?
No, Senator.
Your wife is an American citizen. Your children are American citizens.
That's correct.
Have you ever applied for American citizenship?
No, not yet.
Okay. Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Bam!
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
Is that?
Wow.
1989 was a massive protest. Anything else happen in Tiananmen Square?
Yes, I think it's well documented. There was a massacre.
There was the indiscriminate slaughter of hundreds or thousands of Chinese citizens. Do you agree with the Trump administration and the Biden administration that the Chinese...
That's enough. That was the main point.
Yeah. Like, just, wow. Just went. And it's like there was a little pause in between the last question he asked and, the bombshell. Are you a member of the Chinese Communist Party? So it's like, did he, obviously he couldn't think of anything else. So he's like, oh, I know, commie.
He's like, where are you from? You're Asian?
So I read it. So maybe I gave him too much credit. I read it as him taking a pregnant pause to let it linger after he had asked the guy, have you applied for American citizenship? And he said no, as if this was supposed to be some sort of gotcha.
Gotcha
and
moment.
then he hit him with, well, if you're not a citizen, are you a member of the guy? I was like, that is hilarious.
That was good.
And what happened in Tiananmen Square.
Right.
Not 40 years ago, not 60 years ago, not in 1919, not the Red Scare. That was last week. He said, I'm from Singapore, dude.
Right.
Maybe that was his answer. It's like, dude, I'm from Singapore. I'm a CEO from Singapore. Yeah, I'm Asian. I run the company.
Happened?
What does that mean?
It's like, what happened in Tiananmen Square? There is no Tiananmen Square in Singapore. I don't know.
Like, do you condemn?
He should have said, well, what happened at Kent State? What happened at Jackson State?
Right.
If he asked me if I was a member of the Chinese Communist Party, I was like, have you been or are you a member of the KKK? I mean, what's the, throw it back to.
My problem is I'd probably start saying yes, whether it was true or not. Like, you're damn right. So you in this group or that group, you damn right. Me and Osama go back like Kamal's hairline.
It is going back. It is going back more. It is going back. Yeah.
I know, I'm just playing because you mentioned it the other day and I don't have one. So I was going to say myself, but I don't have one. I'd have been like, yeah, me and Ear Doctor was running a pizzeria back in the day. You damn right. I worked at Knockers
Another reason why you can't be
laundromat.
the CEO of anything. Why you can't. They're TikTok
Exactly.
is a $1 billion
And all of
business.
they'd all been like, fine. This guy.
All the calls. The Chinese part, Communist Party, got all the calls and be like, he's fired. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. I thought he was
Right.
perfect. He was Singaporean. I thought he was perfect. This dude's got too much of a mouth. Get him out of here.
He's like, damn right, I got a Chinese passport. Mao's on the cover. Me and Mao, I got the old style with the Mao cover. I got the classic Mao cover. The red book cover.
Let me bring out the red book. Bam!
Bam! And the Panther 10-point program, man. Like, BLA handbook right here.
Singapore was a part of the Long March. What are you talking about? Fuck Taiwan.
And what happened at Tiananmen Square? I rode over the motherfucking the tank. I was driving the tank.
Here,
This is
Doctor,
me.
please come up. This is
All
about
right, my bad. All right.
Damn. He said Kamala was slowly opening the sunroof right there. I see you.
All right.
Wow, y'all going in. Y'all are going in.
Oh man, that's
Oh
too
my
much.
God.
Ah, man. Hey, want to get some shout outs real quick. We got Crass Bandicoot.
Crass
Yeah,
That is
you
That's
remember?
a name. That's a name
Thank
right
you.
there. Welcome.
Thank you.
Infinite content.
Rein
$5.
in
Jackie,
the
please rein in
pages.
the pages. They can't be allowed to rampage unrestricted. Yeah,
See,
you know.
you're right.
Oh man.
See
And,
how they do?
We want to send in love and positive vibes to Sugar Shan. She about to get her post chemo blood work, so we're gonna definitely do that
absolutely.
to you. Sugar Shan is a great remixer and supporter of Black Power Media. For a minute now.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Definitely hoping
Yeah,
for good results for you, Sugar Shane.
Right on, right on.
All right. All right, so I guess we could go ahead and get to another break before we get back into some more news. Let's do it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Every little thing is gonna be all right. No doubt. Happy born day to Bob Marley, one of the best to ever do it. Man, I got so many stories of when I used to hang out with my Rastafarian friends and stuff like that. Boy, we used to Bob Marley all day, Peter Tosh, everybody. So, yo, big up to all them. Big up to my man Moshe out there, if you're listening. All right. Well, with that said, let's go ahead and listen. You know I ponder sometime, right? So I was pondering about this phrase because there's a lot of this going on right now. You know what I'm saying? This word, right? This phrase, this term right here, culture vulture. All right, let's check it out. All right, a person who is very interested in the arts, especially to an obsessive degree. There's more than enough to satisfy the thousands of culture vultures who will descend on the Scottish capital. So culture vultures. Right now, we got some things going on. We talking about these white boys is actually, I don't know. It's like these white boys is actually doing something right now. You talking about, if we talk about the NFL, we got this guy with this. Now people are saying, I want to get the Kelsey fade. So this is a regular fade we've been rocking for years, but now people are going saying, I want the Kelsey fade. It's like they doing their thing right now. It's crazy. I mean, from him to the boxers, white boy boxers is out here getting championships in basketball. With the fades getting championships, to music, hopping on, doing new songs, hopping on Coco Jones' joint, doing this thing. And then we used to take it back. Well, we also consider this guy a culture vulture. Look at that fade with the cuts in it and the parts and the mousse to keep the hair up because, you know, it don't stick up like that. But this term culture vulture, it's a lot of people out here that's really, I don't know. We got to get back on it, y'all. We losing in basketball, music, football. They all coming out doing their thing. Is it part of the culture? Have they assimilated into the black culture so much that it just is what it is? I don't know. I was just thinking about it. You know, I was pondering. So, a little topic to bring up. Let's go ahead and figure out or see what the host is talking about right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's do it. Remix Morning Show, y'all. Let's go.
Yeah, why are we playing this? Why are you doing that?
What you talking about?
Beat is
Dr.
not
Dre's
bad.
beat?
That beat is not bad.
That's Dr. Dre's beat.
But the
I
culture
don't care who
lyrics.
it's what it it's what it conjures, and then you started performing what it conjures. Why would you do that to us?
Because it's
stretch
Dr. Dre's beat.
If you stretch the culture vulture thing, just because a basketball player is white and good at basketball, does not mean he's stealing black culture.
No.
Yeah. So I mean, the haircuts I get.
The haircuts, definitely.
Yeah, the haircuts I get. Obviously, there's some other more updated culture vultures out there. What's that dude, the white boy who does hip hop today? That they're all like, somebody compared this dude to Stevie Wonder, and I cannot remember his name.
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
I don't even know who. I don't even know who it is.
It's some white rapper that I think is really popular right now.
Oh, you talking about Jack Harlow?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Somebody said
Stevie Wonder.
Somebody said he was today's Stevie Wonder.
Whoa.
Yeah. Our generation, Stevie. That's what they say. I've not heard one Jack Harlow song. I was like, who the fuck is this dude? I don't know. But that's culture vulture to me, that kind of shit. Yeah.
So what about when they're raised in the hood? Is that, and they come up in they're around the culture. Is that being a culture vulture if you're doing it?
Give me an example of someone who's legit. Some white boy.
Eminem in the trailer parks in the white hood.
He hung. Parks.
Huh?
He's raised in. That's all an act. That shit is an act.
I just think, again, for me, the context sets the tone for me. So it doesn't matter. It's not personal. It's not about talent for me. It's not about how authentic or where they grew up. It's the simple fact that in this context, and the context of media and what it means in this situation, any white person doing this type of thing is vulturing, regardless of conscious effort, whatever approximation. I don't care how good Eminem could never be, from my humble point of view, a GOAT of anything, a Mount Rushmore of anything. It's just simply, and I acknowledge, it's just simply by the fact of his being white, performing black cultural expression in this context. It don't matter. He just can't do it. It just is not acceptable. So that's how I see it.
Whatever they do is going to be the culture we brought, because they didn't bring forth any type of real music culture. So anything they do is going to be pretty much vulturing, because they didn't bring forth any arts and culture.
And Fanon had a line somewhere, somewhere, someone out here will know, but where he was responding to the question of the consciousness of racism in popular culture in a colonial society. And his argument was, it's all racist. And he in fact said it's all consciously racist. So I'm not Fanon. I'm not even making that argument. I'm just simply saying de facto the result must be that they just can't get. I don't care how good they are. And now I just happen to know, not having listened to 1 second of his music, that there should never be any comparison between Harlow and Stevie Wonder.
No.
That is a crime. That's all I care about. And that who said such a thing and let me at them. What the heck?
Credentials should be yanked.
Whatever,
invitations revoked, whatever, all of that.
So do you have that? Let me ask y'all: do you have that same energy towards Tina Marie?
No, I don't.
I almost have to, because one of my closest homeboys, he was the first one I've ever met to be just stern with it. No, she cannot be at the cookout. I don't give a damn how good she is.
Damn.
He's the only one I've ever met. So I defer to my left. So I'd have to be like, my bad, Tita. He said you can't.
I gave you an invite. I thought I could get you in here.
Lady T.
I barely got in. You know what I'm saying? I barely got in. Like, I can't put up the fight for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry.
I'm Rick's +1.
Like, not tonight, sweetie. Like, there's that interracial spot over there. After this is done, we're going to meet up over there or something like that. Yeah.
I'll save you a plate. Maybe I'll save you a plate.
As long as no one's looking. As long as no one's looking. I'll see what I can do. I'm gonna see what I can do. Let me get back to you. Go back into the party. I was like, let me get back to you. Hold my hand. It's playing some spades over there. Let me get back to you, girl.
All right. I interrupted y'all with my pondering, and I'll let y'all go ahead and get back.
It was
a
deep,
good interruption. It was good. I like it.
Sometimes come with it later.
I won't go that far, but
Jackie whimpered a little agreement.
I did.
I would say she's a good. I mean, she's obviously a great singer, just because people bringing it up saying. But I would like. It's the type of thing I'd never put her like in a top 5 or 10 or something.
Again,
like
I'm saying, I'm
great
acknowledging
singer.
it's not about talent. This is not logical or scientific. This is not some whatever. It's just it can't be. You just can't. It just can't happen. I just won't accept it. It's like the one thing we didn't get to in our discussion of the Africa Cup of Nations the other day is that I really bristle at seeing these African national teams being coached by European coaches. Like,
Yeah, that makes sense.
just the aesthetic of it. I would be like, that's the one where I felt very dictatorial. Like, I want to be a dictator right now. And the one rule, if I can't do nothing else, the one rule is we will have our own people coaching our national team. God damn it.
No, that's true. That makes no sense. Like, you can't find one black coach.
Come on,
In the
man. What are we
whole
saying?
country?
We got to have the European to guide us
In the
and to
whole
bring us. Man, I'd rather lose. I'd be down there
Exactly.
like, no, I'd rather lose. We just going down together because this is not.
Because he's not going to be blamed if we do lose. It's going to be our fault. But if we
Mhm.
win,
Even
he's the
he
greatest
couldn't take them to the
all
mountaintop. Right,
time. Yes.
right. Even he couldn't
Mm.
save our. Nah, man. I don't want
Amen.
to see that.
He came in here and taught them the fundamentals of the game. He made them work harder. They practiced and practiced. They learned certain rules and how to do it. No more of this doing some fancy or fly-by-night stuff here or whatever comes to mind. He taught them discipline and structure. And that's how they got over the
Discipline.
top. Without him, they'd be nothing.
Part of my culture vulture thing I was talking about, I forgot to show this.
Now then, did you get chopped and screwed by a competitor who said they were going to hook it up, then went ghost when it was time for your delivery?
What?
Here at Gallery Furniture, you know, we stay knocking on doors like Pimp C and Little Kiki. And you know, when you cop from Gallery Furniture, in 4 hours or less, our delivery team is going to show up and show out because we don't do it for the clout. This is what Gallery Furniture and we are all about.
So he just took a bunch of random black
Black ones.
colloquialisms and strung them together in a
While preparing lean.
That was
yeah.
Oh, that's what that. Okay,
That's
see, I'm not
that's
even-
lean. That's
So-
codeine, and then they put the Jolly Ranchers in it.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I got
Okay.
that part.
So please don't.
culture vulture.
Please boycott that right there.
Whatever that was.
If we've ever had buying power, please don't use it over there. Good Lord.
I just can't imagine them sitting around coming up with this will be
Boy.
fun, guys.
This will
Let's
be
put our
great.
Granddad, or oh damn, I don't even know what to say. That was disturbing. Yeah, look, there's a moment of silence. Nobody knows what to
I
do.
mean,
So okay, I didn't watch
Bring it back. Yeah,
the Grammys last night. I just because I haven't watched the Gram. I just like after a while, I think you've seen it all, right? So why watch? But apparently last night, Tracy Chapman finally got a Grammy for her song "Fast Car."
really?
Yeah, but and the black folks are just so happy about it. Oh, it's so good to see this black woman finally get her due, and on and on and on. But to me, they kind of overlook the fact that Tracy Chapman released that song probably 30 years ago, and then it becomes famous again. It becomes popular again when it is not remade, but when it's covered by a white country singer.
Oh,
Right. So last night at the last night at the Grammys, she performed the song, but with, and I don't know what his name is, but she performed her song, but with the white country singer. And it's just so weird to see people who are just like, oh, this is, a moment of a unity in a country that's divided and people are seeking connection. No, you're missing it. People are just missing what really happened there. And I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
It's whack, just like our previous discussion. That's terrible. I didn't know even the Grammys were happening until I was getting all those texts about Mike getting arrested at the Grammys. That's actually how I learned even the Grammys were happening. So I just am not paying attention to this at all and don't care. I'm still from the who gives a fuck about a goddamn Grammy era of hip hop. I just don't.
But even the
that
Grammys
is perfect.
They've lost their, I mean, I guess without network TV and everybody's watching other things, they only matter to the industry anymore. And to, again, like as we talk about the use of culture or entertainment to distract us, these kind of segments or things that they set up that are supposed to be these, we are the world moments or ebony and ivory moments, then they get pushed out in mass media as stories to make us all think, oh, the country, this is the underbelly of the country. Look at these two different kinds of people coming together. Isn't this beautiful? So this is all part of a mass entertainment propaganda feel-good story that, again, because no one even, at this stage, the Grammys is less relevant than ever, but somehow a song, like you said, 40 years ago, a woman who did this song, who probably should have won awards then, only now, in terms of its new release by this country singer, has it now become some so-called cultural moment that all of these newspapers now want to cover because, hey, let's calm down. Let's get back to shopping. Let's go back in our homes. Everything is fine, America. Don't look as we sell bombs to Israel. Don't look as we continue the prison industrial complex. Don't look as we give more cops money. Don't you worry about it. We got a country singer and a black folk singer hanging out together, and ooh, isn't that beautiful?
Did you see, you mentioned it, by the way, I happened to just see the new We Are the World documentary about the making of the song, which I learned a lot of new stuff, including, speaking of the country music crossover, Waylon Jennings walked out. He was supposed to have been there. He walked out because Stevie Wonder said, we need to have a Kiswahili verse where we're singing in Swahili to the Africans. And he was like, no country boy ain't never sung no Swahili. And he literally walked.
I know they got the camera and I'm like, he's like in the fourth row. Yeah. Like, excuse me.
He's walking out.
And he's just gone. Not a word.
Not a word.
Kind of like, hey, it's time, like whatever. You can tell he's gone because of that reason. That reason alone. Stevie introduced some Kiswahili as a possible lyric, and that
the narrator or whoever quoted him as saying, "No country boy ever sung Swahili." It was like that was it. I'm out. I said, "Damn!" I said, "That's that youngins. That's that '80s industry racism. That's what we grew up on. That's that." We appreciate not this. We come up here and fake sing your song and do a Grammy performance. No, we walk out. You try to do a song for Africa and sing to them in Swahili. We walk out. That's what I'm talking about. These soft, this soy milk toast, moist. What do they call it? General, all of that stuff. Weak. No, the We Are the World joint was hilarious. I didn't know Al Jarreau was drunk. They was like he was drunk and everybody was nervous and Bob Dylan was shook had to be coached into singing his one little part. Like, yeah, they were all
had to mimic for him and do it like
Stevie had to do it.
Oh,
Stevie
wow.
had to sing it. Yeah.
The thing was it sounded as if at first Harry Belafonte, even though he went to a white boy or evolved, was trying to get the black artists in America in particular.
Yeah.
And then he went to, so I guess this white, well-known or famous manager or behind-the-scenes mover and shaker in the record industry, who kind of probably easily, right, was like, we should open this up and bring in. And by the end of it, I felt, even when back then, but I felt it's like there's more white folks on this than anybody. Like there's like background black voices, but there's a lot more white boys on this, or whatever like that. Not that it wasn't, a clever thing or a good thing in terms of what it did. But it was like, it again was one of these moments. And then it was hilarious the way they kept telling Sheila E. that they were going to give her a part.
They did her dirty. They were like, just get Prince. Can you just get Prince? You gonna get Prince?
We got that verse for you. But when is Prince coming?
Yeah, And then Prince wanted to come and record a guitar solo in the other room.
In a separate room. He was like, I don't even want to be in a room with these fools.
I love Prince, but I'm like, B, you're acting a fool. And they showed him getting his Grammy.
Yeah.
Well, no, American Music Award, I guess.
American Music Award.
The big white boy chick or whatever. I was like, one of those days, like, you need
His
the bodyguard to go up with you to get the award.
He beat Mike out that night, so he would have had to been in the same room as Mike after he beat him. He was like,
him and Mike on fight? Mike on fight? Prince would take off a heel and throw it at him, and this shit would be done. I mean, what's going to happen?
It was a lot.
They couched it as Prince having anxiety around being around that many people. Same with Bob Dylan and stuff like that. But nah, I thought they did Sheila E. dirty, and I thought did. To me it was clear she was no disrespect, but she was only invited to that big time list to get Prince.
She knows it.
She figured it out. She was a little hurt by it too. It was kind of sad. Now, the first time I heard the song, I was in 8th or 9th grade. I remember, and they played it at a school event. And I honestly thought Bob Dylan's part, because I didn't know anything about him. I honestly thought when I saw, because we didn't see the video, we just heard the song. I thought that was Eddie Murphy singing his Buckwheat. I promise you, that's what I thought it was. Because the way he said, it make a better day for you and me. And I was like, oh my God, they got buckwheat on this joint? And then later I saw the video. I was like, who is this guy? I didn't even know who Bob
Actually, buckwheat is patterned after Bob Dylan. Eddie Murphy's buckwheat.
I was like, this is truly an all-star fair. They got Eddie Murphy as buckwheat. It's a brighter day for you, me. I said, oh, yeah. I said, good God. That's...
Why was Dan Aykroyd there, though?
I don't know.
Because of the Blues Brothers. The Blues Brothers. Remember, he actually is a performer, and he performs a lot with people in Hollywood. And when they did that movie, it kind of like made him...
That's the only... Your explanation, I was with the ear doctor. I was like, and why the fuck are they even mentioning that Dan Aykroyd is there? Like because they were mentioning, and they said they made it performers. Yeah,
and they said we got to get Dan.
And Aykroyd, I was like, Dan.
Dan's the man. Let me find out.
The white boy they missed though, and I don't remember the timeline in terms of the career, but the white boy that they missed was Michael McDonald. That's the white boy. They should have had some of them in there if they were going to get white boys. But like Kenny Loggins. Even Kenny Rogers. I was like, come on, man, come on.
That was the era though. That was Lionel Richie's time period when he was busting out.
And then they said Huey Lewis was singing Prince's part. That was supposed to have been Prince's part. Mm-hmm. And then they gave it to Huey Lewis. And I was like, that's the exact opposite of it. But whatever.
I know there's not one other black singer who showed up that night who could have took Prince's song and done his part or whatever.
They could have just opened up the door and yelled outside to anybody in LA, yo, we need a singer. There'd have been like 20 people filing in there singing better than that.
Speaking of Lionel Richie, he looking mighty cheeky right about now. Oof.
Oh, Botox.
He had a lot of surgery. Kaz been getting that surgery, and I'm like, man, I don't know what it's like to have that kind of ego, but I'm like, man, drink some water and eat your vegetables and just let it happen, man. You can't, because this stuff looks worse. I mean, I'm like, would you really look worse than this if in just your natural aging face? Because this looks terrible. I'm like, who is over here like this looks good other than the surgeon taking that check?
You got a constant smile anyway.
Yeah. He always had a rubber face, though. He always had a rubber face. It's like I never
I
understood.
mean, but it was his though. I'm all about natural. Like like what it is what it is. I mean, you know, with few exceptions, I'm like, leave it alone. They just oof. And then like Meg Ryan is like the poster child for that. But or maybe now Lil Kim. I mean, no, you know, like it's some like we
or Sammy Sosa.
Sammy Sosa. I hope that dude is in therapy. That's why I hope I haven't heard from him. Seriously, that just was terrible what he did to himself. But
no, it was the worst. I was like, who does that? Like this. At least Michael went gradual. Michael tried to go gradual on you.
So we don't believe the vitiligo? That's not real? We don't believe that? Like, okay.
No, we don't believe that, and we don't believe that he wasn't molesting a couple of kids.
All right, I'm not doing that.
When Michael goes, hey, come sleep with me. We believe that. Yeah.
In news today.
Well, in news today, according to Erica, is this real? Is this legit? New mothers in Flint, Michigan can get guaranteed basic income, but is their water clean? Can they drink the water in Flint yet?
That's a question.
Women who sign up for the program will receive $1,500 while they are pregnant and $500 a month for the baby's first year of life. Word? Moms and babies in Flint are getting a prescription for cash. RX Kids, which officially launched this week, is the first program to offer guaranteed basic income to expectant mothers and their children. So you have to sign up for the program. What does it mean to sign up for the program? The money for the program comes from public and private funds. The program believes $55 million will be needed to cover the cost of newborns and their families. 70% of children in the city are living in poverty.
So it's one of these experiment programs. There's a little catch at the end I heard that says use all this money to buy water. That's it's like whatever you do, buy water.
And it just happens to cost you $1,500 a month for clean water in your.
When you think of
Wow. Okay. All right. And the version of this is due to launch in Philadelphia this year. Targets new mothers who live in certain areas of the city and make less than $100,000 a year. They will be given $1,000 monthly during pregnancy and through the first year of the child's life.
Yeah, there's a lot of small scale, and it's maybe not relatively small, but and I don't think it's a bad thing, experimentation with basic income for people of certain incomes or whatever. So it's not something that I think is being adopted en masse. I think other countries, as we've talked about before, for postnatal care and even during pregnancy, you know, have healthcare and even basic income that lasts I think upwards of like the first year of the child coming into the world. So these UBI programs, universal basic income programs, you know, people are starting to experiment with them. And I don't, you know, offhand, you know, I'm not mad at them, but they're not really government funded. They're usually privately funded with a small mixture of some public funds. And then the question becomes, even after these programs get started and they become these experiments, then they end, right? Because it's most places the local governments do not adopt them, particularly here in the United States, i.e. Tom Cotton, or you a member of the Communist Party, and so they all go like, oh, we're not, you know, we'll experiment or play around the edges with this stuff. But universal basic income, you know, again, Medicaid for all or healthcare for all, those kind of like things that would really do something to save people's lives. And I think, you know, we haven't had the discussion here, but, you know, there's a lot of studies and things in the works that talk about the idea of work itself may be something that is archaic in a sense that there are other ways in which income can be gotten to people. So the idea that you have to create tasks for people in order for them to earn their place in society is also something that may be anachronistic at this stage in terms of how we think about what it means to be in a position to earn a living or have resources, I should say, to take care of yourself. So I think all this stuff is floating around, but it's at the edges of establishment society. And so whether or not in this capitalist society it's going to be allowed to take off is a bigger question.
I mean, there's always been, I don't pretend to be up on the latest, but there's always been the conservative version of this too. I mean, Nixon and Dr. King supported a UBI at one point. Same thing with the healthcare kind of thing. There's these conservative versions of quote unquote universal healthcare that force some private intervening force to be involved, or some other form of wealth extraction or whatever, or they'll undercut some services on the back end of a UBI. And so you get more money every month, but then everything else starts to cost you more in terms of services and everything else. So I'm interested to see how this goes, and to what extent it can be in a leftward way expanded.
I do wonder if because the funds, I think the article said that the funding is a government and private partnership. That's kind of concerning, because there's only this small group of people out of the population in the pilot program, and if it's successful, and the program wants to, the city wants to expand the program, then I'm sure the current partner has limits on, whether they can negotiate another partner to scale the program up. You know what I mean? Because it's private. It's not it's backed up by citywide legislation, which would mean citywide money. So what happens when the private part of the partnership starts to dictate how the partnership operates?
You're on mute,
So
Jack.
my bad. Again, going to this, I keep going back to what Diedrich put me on to, Diedrich Muhammad, a couple months ago, that I can't stop thinking about. I'm just looking at this global wealth report from 2023. I haven't seen from 21 that reflects the wealth created in 2022. I haven't seen anything beyond that yet, but this says here, measured in current nominal U.S. Let me share this. This is because this is this is what I want us to. This needs to be more in the conversation when people talk about where all this money that's out here is. Because sorry, hold on a second. Where did I put the thing now? Oh, there it is. Sorry. Measured in current nominal U.S. dollars, total net private wealth in 2022 fell 2.4% to $454.4 trillion. So unless I'm completely wrong, I'm reading that as the world that has contributed through its labor, extractive forces, so on, consumption patterns, et cetera, has created for the private owners of wealth $450 trillion in 2022.
Wow.
I feel like, again, like Daruba has said, we have already won. The wealth the world's needs is already there. What can't be done with a proper distribution of $450 trillion? Like I thought it said there that 50 million solves all the UBI in Flint. That's like a piece of a fingernail compared to 450 trillion. Like, I feel like the world, my people, my world people.
Well, that's why, like, even when you see these programs, we talk about private funds. We're talking about funds given to foundations. Where do they get their money from? They get their money from the rich people who are giving a little bit to get the tax breaks and to feel good about themselves. But they're not doing no real redistribution, right? And not unless they're going to be forced to do it, right? For all that kind of stuff, that's all for, again, for media to show that the world, somebody cares. We're experimenting with this program. But cover that story in 2 years and see what happened with those families and those funds. It's like, oh well, after a year, that was it. It was gone. I was back on my own again. So there's nothing about the programs that are as instituted now in the U.S. that are earth-shattering in terms of the relevance that's going to have on people's lives, because those corporations are going to move on to whatever they think the next thing is that's going to get them some popularity, or those individual donors. And then they're going to keep moving and shifting and moving and shifting and moving and shifting and whatever is hot, but always enough to get you hooked, but not enough to make you so that you can bring the fight home, right? Not enough so that you can do anything real about redistributing wealth. That's not the goal. The goal is some fanfare, some good pictures, some good stories, making you think things are being taken care of. And then you look the other way and the program's gone and the money's back in the same hands it always was.
And that was a 2% drop from 2021. Like, they were suffering. They took a loss. And when they walked away with $454 trillion, man, y'all, man. We should just keep putting that number up every day. Like, man,
every day.
This is what these motherfuckers are walking away with, man. They got
that's ours.
Somebody in the chat said it. We getting robbed.
We made that.
With a background of Steve singing "We Are the World" with Stevie,
right?
Stevie doing it. Waylon Jennings walking out with the money. That'd be like Waylon Jennings walking out with the money, y'all.
Oh boy,
that clip is so funny.
It just got too black up in here.
He was like, "Move, y'all." He was in the back. He was like, "Move! I gotta get out of here." They're talking about Africans singing African languages. Get out of here.
I can do a tune in the background for the starvings, but now y'all now it's just too much.
Okay.
Now we're gonna go home. Now we're going home. Speaking of going home, bam.
There
you go.
Like Jay-Z said at the Grammys, some of y'all gonna feel like y'all got robbed. Some of y'all got robbed, and some of y'all don't even belong in the category.
Oh, damn. Did he say that?
Yeah, he was mad. I guess Beyonce again did not win best. I don't know why I know this shit today. The best album of the year was won by Taylor Swift, who's like now won more than anybody for album of the year.
Where's Ye when you need him? Kanye didn't bust up on stage?
Nah.
Taylor walked out there looking over her shoulder.
White lives matter now.
Jay-Z said I tell the truth when I get nervous, so he was just up there on his little rant, talking about the Grammys. All right.
As he accepted one.
Yeah, the Dr. Dre Award. Yep. Whew, it's a lot.
But I went back. I haven't paid attention to his career, to be honest, until I started looking back at it since I've been watching the Cam and May show lately. I've missed a lot of Cam. Ether gets a lot of credit for what it did to Jay-Z, but I went back and heard the track Cam put out on Jay after the whole Dame Dash Rockefeller breakup, and it might even be worse.
An Ether?
I mean, it is. I don't know. I'm not saying it's a better verse or rhyme, but in terms of vitriol and hostility directed at Jay-Z, he just starts off talking like, I got 5 reasons for it. He was like, you got rid of Dame, you got rid of Ye. He was like, and then he just starts going in. I was like, wow, I forgot about all of that. I wasn't paying Cam a bit of attention. No disrespect, but
I think that was more personal. That was more personal for Cam.
Oh, clearly. I mean, clearly. Because he was saying you dissed my whole Harlem community and you claim you made us money. Now, we made money together and all this stuff. And he was like all this other violent talk, all kinds. I was like, whoa, Cam. I said, oh, my goodness.
Oof. All right.
Well, I think the one thing, Jay, that I might be like, you know what? Getting rid of Dame, that wasn't a bad move.
It happened at the when they brought Michael Jackson on stage, and he was like, "I can't be with y'all no more."
But these podcasters, Cam included, they talk about Dame like he's the Black Warren Buffett. They love this dude. They think he's the genius of black business. And every time I've heard an interview, I watched the Shannon Sharp joint a couple months ago, or a year, whenever it was. I was just like, man, this is bananas.
He's like a nonstop talker. I mean, it's like any interview I've seen. I remember they showed this one interview, and I guess they were supposed to be showing where some of the break was happening, and Jay was like rolling his eyes because that somebody put a mic out there and Dame was just on. You would think Dame was rapping all those lyrics, like he was the famous one in the bunch. So you can see after a while for that kind of thing, it's just like, yo, B.
But he has a line though. I didn't hear Dame's line until recently, where Jay said, "If you made me, make another one." And then but I didn't hear Dame's response, which included, "I don't have to make another Jay-Z. I made Rockaware. I made this. I made this film company. I made this business. I made that business. I made all these other revenue streams." I said, "Okay." I said, "That's a good comeback. It's a good response."
Right. Well, let's go ahead and take a quick break, and make sure y'all hit that like button. Y'all go ahead and throw something in the chat room. We appreciate it. Right here on the Remix Morning Show. Yo. Big up to all my PNCs out there, partners in crime. Y'all know what it is, Smith & Wesson. Hey, also, I didn't make I didn't do Sundays last Sunday because my internet was down. Somebody went to the front of the neighborhood and to the box and took my internet out and put it in theirs. Yeah, I live in that type of community. All right, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to give an artist spotlight. Let's talk about a brother that made his transition, no other than Carl Weathers. Yeah. Now, Carl Weathers, in case you don't know who that is, also known as Apollo Creed. He also was an actor and a director, and he was in the NFL. He played for a quick stint. But you know him from being in The Predator, Happy Gilmore. He played a part in the Toy Story, did a voice in the Toy Story, Arrested Development. He came in as an acting coach, which was hilarious. He also even played Optimus Prime in one of the movies that was out. And last but not least, The Mandalorian is his last project, which he also directed one of the episodes, which got him awards. So let me talk to you about him. Well, pretty much he did his football career. He's played with the Oakland Raiders and then wound up dealing with a Canadian team and was like, all right, I'm done with all that. Started doing his acting career, and he started off in blaxploitation. He was in Bucktown. He was in Friday Foster. And then later he came and he did an episode of Good Times. And he also was in other shows like Kung Fu, Starsky and Hutch, Barnaby Jones. I mean, he did so many different things. But when he came and met up in an audition for Apollo Creed, that's when he really got his big role right there. And then after that, he was in the different Rocky 2, Rocky 3. And later on, they had the whole Creed franchise. I mean, this guy was in so many different movies. You're talking about Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Hurricane Smith, Michael Jackson's Liberian Girl music video. I mean, done so much for the culture. So I just had to give him a shout out. And like I said, he did The Mandalorian and wound up getting an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Guest Actor. So I had to give a little love to no other than my boy right here, Carl Weathers. And with that said, I just wanted to leave y'all with this right here from the beloved Carl Weathers. Let's go.
How do you like your ribs?
Yeah. Carl Weathers, y'all. In case y'all didn't know, let's get back to the Remix Morning Show. All right. Action Jackson. That was the movie. He had Vanity as his co-star. Oh,
But that was the clip.
All his
To
wives
tribute?
were white. Yeah, 3 white wives in a row.
there you go.
Oh,
I'm just saying, all of them.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
All in a row, boy. Ooh.
damn.
He kept it in the culture, all right. Nah. I was like, let me do a little quick. Like, who's been Carl Weathers? Like,
Of
course
three
you
white
did.
women popped up.
And that's all he will forever be remembered as at the Remix Morning Show. All 3 of his white wives.
Yeah, white wives.
In session.
Yeah.
But I'm in agreement with who said this? Where did I see it? I lost it. But whoever said that oh, here it is, Zenzi. I will never forgive Stallone for killing him in Rocky IV. I agree. And when I watched that, I saw it in the theater as a relative youngin. I said, man, how dare you? I just said, how dare you? And it's prolonged. He takes a beating.
Yep. It's kind of brutal.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It was and then of course Rocky comes back and like he literally kills Apollo, but you can handle all of that because you was lifting wood in the damn Siberian tundra. I was like, man, get out of here, man. I was so pissed. It was like, this is the worst.
The best part was like, he was like, you know what? We'll do it tomorrow. He's like, there is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. Oh man.
It's like the funniest shit to me though is like in Philadelphia, they put up a statue to the fictional boxer Rocky, nothing to Joe Frazier.
Right.
Joe Frazier, the real life Philadelphia born and bred world champion.
Actually lived.
Actually
won
fight. Actually won fight.
Right.
No statue. Fake ass Rocky. Huge ass statue.
Ain't never been the Rocky. Ain't never been. None of that ever happened. And then, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a travesty. To be honest, when my children were in elementary school and they got one of their first school trips was to Philadelphia, I made that a point. I said, oh, they're taking you to Philadelphia? I said, ask them on the tour why I literally said that. I said, ask them on the tour why there's a statue to Rocky and not Joe Frazier. And they looked at me like, what do you even, they didn't know what Rocky was. I was like, don't worry about it. Just say the words. I was like, how dare they? No, you're right. That's terrible. It's just one more additional.
Disrespect.
One more level of racism. Just one little, just as many little pew racism.
But yeah, bless, big up to Carl Weathers, and I'm out.
Kamala done ruined his whole legacy. After all of that beautiful tribute put together, produced, we got clips and music.
Good grief.
And then
after he said he did so much for the culture.
Kamala said, let me see how much.
He's like, wait a minute. Did he though? Oh my.
Oh man. Man, I'm telling you, everybody, just a word of warning, make sure you outlive Kamau or this might happen to you. That's just everybody take your vitamins, drink your water, because you don't want to be next on Kamau's remix morning show screen. Talk about who you might have married or been dating. Good God. Let's see how much did they do for the culture.
Usually, you start off with the black wife on your way up. Because you better, you know what I'm saying? At least you got the one. You do the OJ shit. You got the one.
OJ, you got to have the
Michael Jordan. You got the one.
Oh, man.
That started you up. You got your Coretta that held you down.
Oh, man. The Coretta. The actual Coretta.
Chloretta.
The Chloretta that held you down. But then you go, after you make a few million, then you go like, oh, girl, I'm famous now. Things have changed.
Once you become a superhero, a Marvel superhero villain, then you can say, you got to be my Coretta. You got to hold me down like Coretta, even if you look like Loretta.
Like Coretta.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, is this your only point of rap? Do you actually think you're MLK or some shit?
He did, because in one of those clips he was saying, I am a great man.
Yes.
I am a great man. And that's how you tell a great man, when they tell you I am a great man. That's how I know, by the way, LeBron can't be the GOAT, because he said on tape, that's what made me the best ever. Now I know you can't never be. Now you can't. Now you know you can't be, because you can't self-proclaim the GOAT. Get the hell out of here.
You can't self-proclaim. You got
no. Look at the tape. Everybody's on tape saying Jordan is the best. All of his peers, all the other GOATs were saying, no, Jordan is the Jordan. And then he's just like, I mean, if they say it, they say it.
Must be true.
But you can't be like, I'm the greatest of all time, unless you're Muhammad Ali. Okay. Do you want to? Anybody got something they want to get to?
Yeah, this piece in the Gothamist, we were talking about money being redistributed correctly. How about, come on now, scroll down.
What? That headline got to be it. This is an Onion. You're showing us an Onion headline.
Nope, this is not the Onion. This is Gothamist. So this is a New York publication. They're saying that NYPD overtime pay in the subway went from 4 million to 155 million this year. Now, if I'm understanding this correctly, these are just the subway cops. But let's see what they've got to say here. NYPD overtime pay for extra officers in the subway went from $4 million in 2022 to 155 million this year, according to city records. The new spending was part of a push by, guess who, Mayor Eric Adams and Governor Kathy Hochul to reduce crime and crack down on New Yorkers sleeping in the transit system. You know how to cut down on people sleeping in the transit system. You house them, in part by flooding the subways with uniformed NYPD officers working overtime shifts. So the influx of officers corresponded to a 2% drop in what police call major crime in the subway. Yeah, that's, I don't trust them on that one.
So 150 million for more officers to get a 2% drop in crime,
right,
as opposed to 150 million to housing and healthcare support for people who need it, and dealing with the so-called crisis that way.
Precisely.
As
I
opposed
just
to
want to make sure I saw that right.
Fair, so that people can actually afford these days to get on the goddamn trains.
Right.
You got such a, the budget is so huge that you can carve that money out without charging people the amount you charge them. So who's going to get on the thing? And so they spend all their time, and they already have a $250 million budget for officers. So now on top of that, 150 million. And this is how America solves problems. It's like more cops, more cops, more cops. That's all they care about is more cops.
Endless budgets for police, and you're like, well, why not? Get a couple health shelters and some therapists and some medicated, whatever people need, some food. Nah. We don't have that money.
Let's not encourage that. Let's not encourage that.
Oh
no, actually, that we do have shelter. It's called jail.
Right.
We do have shelter.
Yeah,
right.
And where you will get fed.
You will get fed.
You're right.
Yeah.
My bad. Thank you.
Yeah,
my bad.
We've already taken that problem. What's wrong with you? What's wrong? You're not thinking. You're not thinking.
You're right. My bad. I stand corrected.
I mean, I think I mentioned before, they're out here planning with all the issues at the Fulton County Jail here in Atlanta, where over the last 18 months, 11 or 12 people have either died or I should say have been killed, because folks just don't die in jail. They basically, through systemic neglect or actual assault by officers, or allowing prisoners or people incarcerated to have fights and letting that ride. Their solution is to build now a $2 billion jail in to go with the cop city. So it's to build a huge new jail, even though for years the people being held in that jail were not people who've been convicted of anything, not people with quote unquote serious charges, but people with small, so-called petty crimes, just like in New York when they arrest you for subway jumping the turnstile, and sometimes they offer you a ticket. But a lot of times they take you in because they want to process you through the system. They want to put you through that system. They want to make sure they got your picture. They want to make sure they got your fingerprints. They want to add you to the collection. And that's what the whole stop and frisk was about in New York too. It's like, how do we build up this categorization, particularly of Black people, in particular of young Black men in New York City, so that we can have our own scrapbook of every Black person, so that we can pin something on Black people when something happens. but it's a monitoring system. It's a way of keeping track of people. And so this system is obviously built on surveillance and jailing. And again, the way in which they solve social problems is to lock us up.
Well, we have an announcement because all of this that's happening in New York will have a new participant in a popular morning program covering all the goings on there, who was also just congratulated by our wonderful vice president. So let's check this out.
It's Kamala Harris. Congratulations on joining the Breakfast Club. I know you're going to be great. Your voice is so important. Have fun with Charlemagne and DJ Envy, and thank you all for just being such an important voice for so many reasons. Take care.
So Jess Hilarious has joined the Breakfast Club officially.
Who is Jess Hilarious?
I don't know, but apparently she went through the process, the vetting process, and won. And
it's so important that the vice president has time to take out of supply weapons to Israel and all the other important things that they do.
Right.
Well, she's not running for re-election, right?
Yes, she is. Of course, she's on the ticket. She's still waiting for Joe to go down, like a smart woman, like a smart black woman she is, with her white husband. She is waiting for Joe. She is waiting.
Fair play. Fair play.
The clock is ticking. There is no way Joe makes it through a second term if he even gets elected. There is just no way. She is on it. She knows.
So we're gonna get our first woman president one way or another, right?
Well,
through election or death.
If Trump
assuming they beat what's his name though.
If Trump picks Haley, it could be you could have your either way. You're going to have your first Indian president.
Oh wow!
If Trump picks Haley, so you're going to have your first woman of color president.
Because you're saying neither one of them survives their next term. Either way,
come on. Trump, because he's probably just popping, so many pills to stay alive and Viagra and all the rest of it. Biden is just a waiting game. It's just a waiting game.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Come on, man.
I was just looking at the chat for who Jess Hilarious is. I honestly don't know who she is. Isn't Jess transphobic?
She's a comedian that came up off the internet, and she's pretty much.
She got the gig. Who's Angela Yee, right? That's the one she replaced.
Yeah.
Look at that. I knew something else. I knew that. Look at that.
I thought, and I'm surprised Envy is, what's the latest on his legal issues with old boy?
I don't know. Your doctor, you know that one?
Do you know the answer to that one?
No, I don't, but I think they are going to court, and the old boy is going down. So,
can you put that picture back up of them now? Because how old is that picture of Envy? I mean, I didn't think that was him. I thought it was somebody else.
The picture is. Oh, this is taking forever.
Oh, that's all right.
No, it'll be there. Here it is. Let's see.
That's not her standing with Charlemagne and.
Yeah, I have to wait for it. I don't think you can fast forward it. But
I mean, luckily she knew not to spend too much time.
There we go.
That's Envy?
Yeah, that's Envy.
Okay.
It's just a lot of, I don't know. It just feels like a lot of manicuring and airbrushing going on. And a lot of effort into these photos, and it's just a lot. I mean, all Kamal did for his headshot was
They do the Malcolm pose, B.
The Malcolm.
Or the eye squint. The eye squint.
DJ Envy snitched on Caesar to the feds, so he'll be safe and useful. Wow, thank you, Piper. Oh, man, and I did miss Piper's Megan versus... what's her name?
Nikki
discussion. I gotta watch that so I can seem relevant when I go to my classes next week. Don't front on your beige brethren.
I got to keep the beige in line, B. And the offspring of the beige, apparently. Then the offspring of the beige.
Between Envy and what's his name from Hot 97, Ebro, Envy and Ebro. This is the beige end of the radio dial you need to be on. I'll put it that way.
If we were on the radio.
You know what I mean. I don't know how you either. This is the beige end of these YouTube streets.
Thank you for your contribution, Jackie.
You're our, what's her name? What's the new one's name? You're our whatever that new woman is.
Just
hilarious.
Just hilarious.
Yeah, we're gonna get Kamala to do a little promo announcing.
Cornell, we gotta get Cornell.
Oh God. Y'all were doing all right, keeping your light skinned selves in line. I didn't need to interfere.
But wait a minute. Just a warning to the Diallo ball chasing community. Heads up, Celtics launch public campaign in support of raise the age legislation. I admit I had a whole bunch of inappropriate jokes that I initially attached to that headline, but the real purpose is the Boston Celtics are advocating for a Massachusetts bill that proposes prosecuting 18, 19, and 20-year-olds as juveniles instead of adults. So, why? Well, I don't know, but my assumption just reading the headline is that they want to make it harder for people who are younger to get adult sentences.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't agree with that?
No, I understood
Friday night?
No.
Oh,
I
my bad. Okay.
That. I was like, is it because like young players are getting in trouble and that's
I see. I was
like, what's their angle? This is supposed to be their social justice thing that they're doing?
The Celtics donned raise the age warm-ups to signal their support for legislation in Massachusetts. Jaylen Brown, a longtime advocate for racial justice, addressed the TD Garden crowd ahead of the game. I want to bring attention to legislation that we, the Celtics, are advocating for. The name of the bill is Raise the Age. It's just generally to keep 18 to 20-year-olds in the juvenile system. They can continue to attend school and ultimately help prevent recidivism. My wife was in criminal justice, and she was a probation officer, and we saw just sometimes the system can put people back and how it can hold people back and put them in even tougher situations in what they're at, Joe Mazzulla said. All right, okay. So it just seems like, this is them trying to give back, and the Celtics have said apparently okay.
This is their new Black Lives Matter? This is it. Like this is their new acceptable kind of anti-prison social justice campaign that was approved by the corporate entities.
Right.
And again, not saying, hey, it's bad, but let's be real. It was approved by corporate entities before. Like before you do that, let's talk this over. And remember, no kneeling. Let's not say the word black when you speak about this. Let's not say the word racism. Let's not do any of that stuff. Here's the script that you can read. You got about 12 seconds worth. So you just get that over there and then go bounce that ball. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
See, I thought it was in response to that Canadian player who got in some trouble, almost got in some trouble recently, and they were trying to say raise the age of the groupies that are allowed to be in these NBA spaces. That's what I thought initially they were trying to, like, we need to raise the age and get some of these, because apparently, I mean, when you start having questions about what's the legal age of consent in this state versus that state, in this country versus that country, I think let's just raise the age in general. And
that would have been great. Suppose they had done a campaign that was like end genocide, end Israel's genocide. Now that would be a campaign that I can get with. They should have some
if they had said raise the age of this juvenile crime and support for Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
I think it's not a bad thing because when we look at the term man and woman, we define them like, what is your definition? For me, man is a person that's accountable and responsible. It's not an age. You don't become a man when you're 18. So it's a lot of these young boys that's turning 18 that's not men yet. So they shouldn't be, they should go to juvenile because they still don't have their mind right to be called a man or something like that. So that's my thoughts. Yeah,
you're bringing me down with some serious dialogue and shit. I mean, nobody.
I mean, it's obvious. I just
to the idea, motherfucker.
I remember where I was, and I just watched my daughter turn 18. There's just it's some nonsense. This is some nonsense. We need to raise the age of everything. That she shouldn't be old enough to drive, vote, or go to war,
or leave the house,
or leave the house. Like all of that. Like all of this. This is. They're not. 18 is not.
No.
Ready for an adult. No. Hell no.
Yeah, my daughter I think something happened where she started talking about driving at 16. I was like, no, you won't be driving at 16. Are you crazy?
Yeah, my daughter talked that too. I was like, yeah.
No, and they try to make it they try to couch it as like it'll be a benefit to us. You won't have to do all the driving and all that.
Right.
I'm like, nah, because the stress I would have sitting at home wondering about you is worse than me sitting in the car.
I do all the worrying.
Good. I'm good. Get right back there. I got you.
Where you need to go.
Where you need to be. What is happening in the world that needs your presence so desperately that I can't get you to? You know what I'm saying? Let's relax.
And me going to these classes and teaching about health and stuff like that is talking to kids and realizing, your brain develops to like 25. It's still developing.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're not an adult yet.
I met some 30-year-olds.
Please.
I think they're 14. I think they're 12.
Please.
Yeah.
They are. They're not. A man is about responsibility and accountability. That's my.
I'm supposed to be 52. Come on now. Stop it. Everybody needs look. Come on. I'm prime example. Then she talked about me and my girlfriends want to go to beach week.
Oh.
I said, I was just like, you've really lost your mind. Now you've really,
That's like the
she
new
tried it
picnic.
on me. I was
Bikers
out there with the
weekend?
current Supreme Court justice. I know exactly what goes on right there. I'm sure he was right down the hall from where I was. What's his name? Out there in Ocean City, Maryland. The current Supreme Court Justice, Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh.
Yeah, I was at Beach Week with Kavanaugh. I know how they get down. Zero chance.
Hiram,
chance.
stolen cars. Stolen cars in Connecticut don't count.
They don't count.
Stolen cars in Connecticut don't count. Stop it.
How do they not count?
Stop.
I can see Hiram riding down the street in
I
the 13 stolen. Because you don't read, beloved.
Like this is The Wire. It's like, get out of here with that. That's funny. Hiram. Oh, boy.
That's my point. And we don't need that. That wasn't safe for anybody. Hell no. Not like that. Not at 13. We don't need no more 13 Hirams.
Listen, we done made it to another end of the show for the Remix Morning Show, y'all. Appreciate y'all coming through. I know, quick. We'll be back with all the ladies tomorrow. And I guess I'll go ahead and take you out on the anything before we leave?
Peace, everybody. Come back for all the stuff coming up on the channel today if you can.
That's right.
That's
Bob Marley birthday. That's how we do it. We out of here. Let's get it.
I heard he sang a good song. I heard he had a style.
Let's go.
And so I came to see him and listen for a while. And there he was, this young boy.
Come on.
Stranger to my eyes.
Sing along, say.
Strumming my pain with his fingers.
Let's go.
Singing my life with his words. Killing me softly with this song. Killing me softly with this song. Telling my whole life.
With his words killing me softly on the Remix morning show.